Okay. You can see that I've got most of the pieces covered. I have left some more or less alone, with others. Well, I've got the sides started as well. And I now am going to, because I have plans for, there's going to be a rug there, there's going to be another rug there, there's going to be stuff here and against this wall. I've gotten things mostly the way that I would like them. I still need to do work on that, and it'll be done soon. I spent the day basically drawing and my arm's about ready to give out. So what I'm going to do now is everything that I did, like on the ceilings and the stuff that isn't sealed, is going to get sealed with some matte finish. And another thing I discovered about this matte finish is it will take paint pen beautifully. So even if I've gone ahead and done some varnish over the top, because on these two sides I didn't want anything to get messed up, so I went ahead and hit it with a couple of coats of the matte sealant, and then I could kind of move forward. So if there's, I know that there may be more that I want to add, so I can do that while still protecting the things that I've done underneath it. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And then I have to go through and on 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 walls, the 4 inside walls, I need to trim approximately 2 millimeters from each of the sides so that they slide into the slots better. I did not take into account the thickness of the paper that I'd be putting on them, so they're just a skosh too wide. And by a skosh, I mean maybe 0.5 millimeter at the absolute most. So those need to go in. These crossbar, the ends here are going to get covered in a yellow paper as well, but I'm going to fold it a little differently and put that over the top. So I need to do the sealing of things now, the stuff that I've gotten finished, and then I can go back and oh, there's still some things. I need to finish this little piece here. I need to finish the drawing here. The drawing's finished in this room. Drawing's finished in that room. Drawing's finished in that room. And I'm not going to do any drawing on top of it. See? Things teeter. Let me get those out. So I'm not going to be doing any drawing on like this one. Now the other thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to cut pieces of wood that are going to be very tiny little trim pieces that are going to go around these. And I don't think I'm going to do it for this piece. I may, I'm not sure. I always change my mind, you know me. And then I've decided now I do want to use this, so I need to put something on that as well. So it's been a very busy day. And I still haven't gotten that little thing covered. But it's coming along, and I want to be putting walls and gluing things down this weekend by the absolute latest, because that gives me another solid 2 weeks to finish the other 2 pieces. So yeah, I'm going to be going into crunch mode. So, thank you, patrons. for sticking with me. And I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully nothing will be falling down. Okay. I wanted to show you what I was doing kind of close up. I've got these 4 walls. This is the inside of the studio wall. I still have some more drawing to do in here, but I went ahead and you can tell by the kind of, it's a little dull. I put some matte varnish on it just to keep it from anything, from the handling of these papers, because this newsprint can get a bit delicate, if you understand my meaning. And what I've been doing, I started last night by cutting all the pieces. I've been adding in, let me put this up a little bit. I've been adding in wood around the edges. Let me see, let me grab you on here. And you can see I've just been adding a little trim work. I think too I'm going to put some trim work here and here and in the same colors. This is the inside of the bedroom, and this is the outside of the bedroom in the hallway. I have also some little teensy bits of touch-up work to do to the inside, and I'm really glad that I chose the method that I'm using to do this, because I am using my paint pens to do this. I started using the paint pens for the woodwork in the A-frame piece, and it worked out really well because I can switch back and forth between colors, and it's not quite as messy because I'm only coloring in tiny little pieces of wood. You can see I left this back part open. These will be glued in, and you can see here on the bottom I've trimmed this a little bit. Looks pretty nasty right now. I've trimmed just a little bit around the outside so it can slide into the slot in the floor a little bit easier. I cut these at between 2.5 and 3 millimeters wide. They are not perfect. I don't expect them to be perfect, but I wanted to show you, like, this one is going to be going out here. And you can see I've cut them so there's a little bit of space here so it can slide in. And I can't really put the floor, any kind of toe kick, not toe kicks, I guess you would, oh, I forget what this is called, baseboard. I can't do the baseboard until the house is put together. So I think it'll be, if I do it, it won't be quite as much as a hump, and I may make it out of cardboard instead, simply because there's lengths that are a little longer. So I want to show you, like, this green is going to go on the other side, but the coloring of this is a little interesting. And let's see, I need to choose a color. I was wondering if there's a color I hadn't really used. I could use yellow. Yellow would be nice. I think I will use yellow. So I take the boards, I'm going to put them over here, because I get them ready for both sides. And this is just the lid to my water container. You can see I've used it for some other things. And I've got to shake it up. Got my tester over here. And then I just start out, I don't know, that yellow is not quite bright enough. It's gonna blend just a little bit too much. I think I need something a little warmer and hotter. Let's try. And these again are the Artistro pens, because I need something warm in here. And I'm just gonna go right over the top of this. I'm not sure that's gonna work either. I don't know. I need something warmer. I may need to do, let's see, this is so rare that I have a time in which I'm not able to choose a color. Orange might be the way to go. Okay, let's try it over here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just start out by coloring, the edges. I've done just a tiny bit of sanding, just to get rid of things. I make sure I color the top. And the reason I use this is because I have to be able to kind of hold this down And then it's just a matter of going along here and coloring it in. I can also flip it to the side. I'm giving these 2 coats on the front, just 1 coat on the side. So I'll color it up until about here. So I'll color all this in and then I'll set it aside. And then when they're done, put that orange over there. Then it's time, I'm going to flip this one over, to glue the pieces in. Now, instead of putting the glue on the board or the little piece of wood, that's just not something that's going to work really well. I'm putting a little bit of glue along here, and trusty toothpick, kind of making sure I've got it all up, kind of on all the little areas in here. Remember, children, do not wipe it. And I've lined them up so they're just right at the top of the door. This is not like, now it isn't high tech. Now, because this is going over a thicker print and then onto something, there's like a little stair step there of about maybe 1/5 of a millimeter, maybe a little less. I will stop and hold this in place and keep the glue out of the way. And then if you can see on this end, there's a little bit of glue that's kind of squishing out. I'll come in and grab that out of the way because I just don't want the bumps. And then once I'm fairly sure that this is holding down, I'll tip it up this way and look, because sometimes it'll pop up a little bit on one end or the other. Then I can go on to gluing on the other ones. So that's how I'm putting these together. It's not super duper high tech, but it's what I'm doing. I've gotten all of these trimmed first. My goal for today was to have the first floor glued in to the back, and maybe the 2 side walls glued on as well. And then from here, I just, yep, see, you can see how that kind of, I press it down and you can see it move. And because this is just, these are just those inexpensive, nay, maybe I should say cheap, little pieces of wood that you can get. They're like the little craft sticks. Looks like tongue depressors that you can get at the dollar store. Some of them aren't incredibly straight, so I kind of have to be careful about that. But anyway, this is what I have been working on. And once, like I said, once these are done, that means I can go in and start putting things together so it'll look like a house. Okay, thank you, patrons, and I will see you in the next video.